ever find wins painful. I live in Philadelphia. I have not seen enough wins for them to start to be painful. Like, I find that to be a very spoiled attitude to where you can get victories in this city with all the losses we've taken and start to complain about, oh, no, my baseball team keeps winning by one. They have more losses than any other franchise in sports history. And now we want to complain about how they win? I can't do that. I can't. It's not in my DNA.
I don't even think
growing up here to have painful losses. I don't have them because I've seen too many real losses.
It hasn't really even happened with the Phillies until last season. I feel like when people were like, "Oh, they keep winning, but their fifth starter, all this," and then now with the Eagles, it's been like that for a while.
I remember Rich Kotite. I remember Ray Rose. Okay. I remember when I first started watching football, they had Jaws come out on third downs and brought Randall Cunningham in. I've seen too many losses for me to sit there and say that a win is painful. Maybe I'll get to the point where I'll see enough victories where I start to think wins are painful. I have not gotten there.
Maybe at some point we have to come into this and look at it that we're not the holier than thou. Like, we're not the greatest team ever every single time you step on the field.
Right.
I think maybe that's the mindset that we have in Philadelphia now. I think when the Phillies step on the field, I think everybody thinks they're the greatest thing since apple pie. And what have they won?
True. And also, I am guilty of having the mindset that some wins can be painful. That happened to me a lot last season.
Let me ask you something. Do you like a walk-off win in baseball?
Yes, I do.
How do you get to that walk-off win? Somebody had to really poop themselves.
Yes, and I've made a conscious effort really ever since last season to change the mindset of thinking that a win is a win, and I need to stop looking and getting so deep into how they won.
But relative to Philadelphia, she's lived in the golden era. She's a little kid when they win the World Series.
Always winning.
She's a teenager when they win the Super Bowl.
You should have seen when I played. We sucked.
Right. Like, again.
I was 21 when they were in the Super Bowl again. That was cool. That was
now think about this now. I'm trying to explain to you. When I started watching the Phillies, it's Smith's last year, right? When I can actually remember, right? So I'm in elementary school. The Phillies were bad the entire time I was in elementary school. They were good 1 year when I was in middle school. Right, so that went from my 7th grade year into my 8th grade year. And then the next time they were good again, I was at the games as a media member. I was 27 when they got good. It's not
as insane as you think. It wasn't as easy to make the playoffs back then.
But the wild card did come in 94 and they never made it.
There was one.
No, there were two.
Were there two wild cards?
Well, whatever they got.
I think it was either one or two. I think there might have only been one.
Yeah, but still. Like the wild card came in and they still were not getting it.
Well, it's simple.
We were absolutely behind the Braves and we had no shot.
It is simple.
Then in 07, they win a division. 08, they win a division, win the World Series. I'm an adult by then. You lived a very different life. Yes. If you're of a certain age, and I also don't want to hear from some of the old timers that lived through the 70s and 80 and went through the Weez kids in 83. Y'all had it pretty good relative to what I had it. Imagine one of your first memories is after the Weez kids if you're a Phillies fan. You saw nothing as a child. All I saw was the vet. More people were trying to sneak and do nasty things at the vet than were trying to actually root for the squad.
That's very true.
Back during that, when I'm a kid. My dad shielded my eyes if someone tries to do something inappropriate to adults. Because the team wasn't worth, listen, then Ricky Bo and Jimmy and them, they get close, but they didn't make it.
We couldn't beat the Braves.
Couldn't beat the Braves. So I hear the painful win, but I think that's something that's reserved for people that grew up a certain way.
I agree. And I think also nowadays, for some reason, a win is not enough. They have to be convincing. They have to win in a certain fashion. Everyone is having these expectations that need to be met. Nothing is just a win anymore. That's just how it is. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, I don't know why.
You don't know why.
I think they want something that feels like, okay, I'm going to have a sure shot of getting to the championship.
Well, there's nothing sure.
But that's what they keep on telling themselves.
Ask these gamblers. Ask all these people that
look at the Yankees. Yankees had a hell of a year. They're getting stomped.
Yeah.
They had a hell of a year. Scored more runs. They had more 5-run games. They're getting stomped. There are no guarantees.
They want to be the best team because they're saying the best team wins overall. So they're saying, okay, I need my team to look like the best team in the league and win by all these great standards.
2 weeks ago, we had people saying the bye's bad. Meanwhile, who's in the World Series? 2 teams that had the bye. Who made it to the NLCS? 3 of the 4 teams that had the bye. But just 3 weeks ago, the bye was bad. See, this is the thing.